Hey guys, Meowington's here, formerly known as Vincenzo, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to learn fighting game characters. Okay, so when learning a fighting game character there are three things I like to look for, and that is movement, the character's moves, and a bread and butter combo, and I like to learn these three things before I take my character online. So first things first, we're going to break down the moves. To do that, especially in Pokken, you can go into training mode, obviously Battle Dojo. We're going to do Gengar. So as you can see, we're in the Action Dojo. This is for step 1, to learn the character's moves. Now I'm going to kind of sub-break this down when I'm learning a character's moves for specific things I like to look for when I'm searching for a character myself. I like to look to see if they have an anti-air, or to see how, what their anti-air actually is. I like to also look for a DP and then any kind of tech as well. And by DP I mean like a Dragon Punch, but I don't think they really have those in Pokken. I'm just gonna rush through these, but I'm gonna highlight the important things that I like to look for as that I specifically said earlier when I was sub-breaking it down. So this is gonna be part of the ranged attack section, because I do like that. That is the thing that we're looking for in fighting game characters, is how their range attacks are. Whoops. It's just 5A, sorry. I accidentally hit, I think it was 4A. And then the same thing with the range attacks. Can they be charged? Because this is a different range attack than Y. And as you can see, I did Sludge Bomb there too. Because, yeah, your Shadow Ball is this, and then that's your Y. Which is kind of, this is another example for range attacks I like to look at. Because air range attacks are just as good as the ground air attacks, like so. And also, can you charge them? Kind of thing like that. Like, and can they be spammed? Just kind of stuff like that. Attacks as well. Gengar has a different form when he's in his burst mode, so he gets Mega Gengar form. And one thing that I think is kind of cool to know, like the difference, is that he gets 3 of these that go out in the field instead of just a single one. The one thing that's very important for me when I'm learning these characters is spacing. So as you can see, forward Y, that's like almost full screen. That's kind of a big advantage. Okay, so as you can see, the game has got my opponent jumping up and down again. So one thing, this is another thing I like to look for when in searching moves is, as well, because this is also the dual phase, is the anti-air. So obviously he's jumping up, and then this move will catch him. Pretty simple, straightforward. Example 2 here is something else I like to look for, like I specified earlier, is anti-airs. So the game's got my opponent jumping up and down, so it's going to show me that this attack will obviously works in the air, because I noticed in Pokken people like to jump a lot as well. And here's another example of an anti-air as well, kind of similar to Braxian. So if my character's obviously jumping around, he's not jumping around in the demo right now, but I'm sure I can set that up in training mode. I'm sure I can use that as an anti-air. Probably gain, I think I can actually gain something off it if you go XX. And then I got a combo. So that's kind of a cool note I like to make as well mentally when I'm learning these characters. This is some of the stuff that I really like about Pokken a lot, is their movement. And you can do this in the air, which is kind of cool, as well as you can do it when you're doing like pretty much hypnosis basically. So if you do forward A, and you can move around. Like the game kind of froze me there, but I can show you an example here. So it's like it was forward A, and then you can move around like that. One thing I'd like to note when doing that, this is just Gengar specific, so, because I kind of did that in my Decidueye video as well, but when you're doing that with Gengar, whoops, I accidentally jumped there, so we'll do forward A. I can't go through my opponent. I thought I could go under him and come back and come up behind for like a cross up, but under, so I thought that would have been kind of cool, but I learned that he doesn't go behind. But that was just one thing that I like to look for, is when I'm looking for tech in specific characters. There's certain kind of things that the game will tell me that I can use. So obviously this down XX, I can probably use it against my opponent if I hit them with it, and I can land them on the wall, pause my opponent there for a bit, and I can extend my combo, just as an example. And then the game obviously froze for me there, but I can build off that, and I can learn what else works against the wall there. So that's a good way. That's another thing I like to look for when learning Pokemon moves in Pokken. When you're charging and releasing attacks, like, I didn't know Gengar could do that. Like, that's kind of big. to me it's important, and I think it's kind of cool that as the game's showing me Gengar's moves, one thing I like to see is when I hold this and I notice that my opponent's up in the air, that gives me a juggling opportunity, so I could probably build off that in training mode. As I explained and showed earlier, I feel like it's really important to make note if something we could build off the wall. See how my opponent's on the wall? I could probably go back and extend my combo. So this is the part where we break down the movement part of the video. And in this section, we're just going to kind of look at Gengar's movement, so basically that, and his tech. There's not really much to go off of in movement, like yeah, you can see the jump around, like in distance. And in movement, we're also going to take a look at spacing really quick. For example 1, we're gonna take a look at Gengar's little disappearing double, like forward or back or whatever, right? 6-6, 5, not 5-5, 4-4. Just kind of, just to kind of see like how its movement is basically. One thing I want to test out with this for sure is to see if Mewtwo can spam attacks through it, or if we can use it to dodge attacks. Okay, so one thing that that was kind of important because I'd like to know if I can close the distance on my opponent while he's spamming his ranged attacks. Another thing I'd like to take a look at when I'm testing out movement for Gengar and stuff, this is something you probably have to do on your own for whatever character you want to do, just because your depth perception is your own, right? So one thing I'd like to take a look is just spacing, like how far does that move hit from? Like, can I hit him from back here? Oh no, that's too far. Where's the hitbox on it? It's not at the tip of Gengar's like horn part, like in the middle. So it looks like it's in the shadows when it connects, right? Because say if I'm close and I'm kind of shielding, I can do that, and then I can still hit him with that, right? That's just one example, but there's multiple moves you want to check out on the spacing. And so yeah, look, spacing is very important when you're checking out movement on your character. So the easiest way to do it is just go into training mode, see what they have for that, and just certain things that you like to test out. Also, if you're in matches and you notice something, then just go straight into training mode right after, or even write it down. I like to kind of make little notes when I'm playing, and then I'll jump and test it out in the lab, and then see if it works. And if it doesn't, then what can I do to make it work, or if it's possible for that to happen. So I basically think that that's everything that we have to do with movement. That's kind of the main things I look for, like can they jump, kind of thing. The Action Dojo showed us a lot of the moves, like their anti-airs kind of thing, how they hit. Even in free training mode, just kind of take a look and see like what causes your field shifts, you know? Like that obviously didn't, but does the charge one do? No, it doesn't. But it's just important things to note, especially when you're playing Pokken, because you have these two phases, field and duel. So we'll just move into the next part of the video about learning the bread and butter combos. Okay, so this is the combo part of the video. It's just going to be really quick because everyone learns differently as well, and there's multiple ways you can learn them. So the game gives you a few options on learning your bread and butter combos. You can do it in the Action Dojo, as it shows you the Poke combos is what they like to call them, which was the YYY or YX. Pretty much every character has them, I believe. There might be a couple wrong. If so, just let me know if I'm missing any of them. And there's another way you can do it is also you do the combo dojo. It doesn't take long at all. As you can see, I've already cleared through it. It's pretty straightforward. Some of these are kind of cool, like, and then they also give you examples of how to use, like when you're Mega Gengar as well, doing them, and you're ending with a Synergy Burst, which is kind of sweet. I'm not going to run through these because this isn't a combo video. I'm just going to kind of explain this is one way to find them. When you're learning combos, one thing I like to know and kind of do is that for myself and my playstyle is, do they feel comfortable? And how well can I execute them? And just because that's going to be important when you're trying to execute them under pressure in a real match, or even specifically a tournament. Players Cup. But as you can see, when I'm learning combos, one thing I like to do is go YYY, like just as fast as possible, just to kind of see what it's like if I go too fast, or if I go too slow. Obviously for Pokken, if you just spam YYY, it obviously worked if I was pushing really fast. But I like to go slow to kind of see what the timing window is. See how that one was too slow? And then there you go, that's just the straightforward. Because timing's really important, because once you get the timing down, you'll kind of have it. It's like riding a bicycle, basically. Another example of learning Pokken combos is what I like to do, is I like to go onto Twitter, and I just basically just use the hashtag Pokken Tournament DX. So many people have been uploading, like the game is not dead. So like so many people upload, like I think this was 21 minutes ago, and it's pretty gnarly. Like it's pretty gnarly. Like there's stuff always getting added. Like right here, highest damage Garchomp optimal is pretty important. So if you don't have Twitter, I suggest you can totally make a Twitter. Just add Pokken Tournament DX, and you'll see people uploading stuff all the time. Another important thing I just want to say too. There's a character in the game called Nia. Somebody made a Pokken account to Nia. This account is pretty awesome. If you don't want to follow the hashtag Pokken Tournament DX, you just follow Nia, because she literally retweets anything related to Pokken Tournament DX. It's pretty awesome. So you have two ways here to pretty much search for combos as well. You just kind of scroll through. People will have damage notations on them. If not, you can always go into the lab and find them yourself, because they don't take that long to figure out. You just got to put a little bit of work in. Like the final way I like to use is just go on YouTube. You can always YouTube Pokken Tournament DX, and you can search tournament matches, because those players are already playing at a high level, especially in tournament, that you know that those combos are working, and you know the situations that they're in, so you kind of have a little bit of an advantage there, as opposed to just laying a combo down on like your CPU dummy. That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If this helped you at all, please leave a like, or even think of subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel for fighting games a lot. Kind of enjoying Pokken. Most of you playing a lot of Dragon Ball Z lately, but it is what it is. I kind of hope everyone is enjoying their practice and stuff. And if you are preparing for the Players Cup, I hope you do well. And also too, yeah, if you guys are also looking for matches, you can totally hit me up on my Twitter. It's links in the description. It's just at Meowingtons88, and I hope you guys go play some Pokken.